Good afternoon, dear teachers and students. My name is Заборник Любовь Степановна. I'm an English teacher of Kokshetaun Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Physics and Math Direction. So today I would like to present you the lesson about planning, designing and evaluating an invention for the 11th graders. So first I would like to introduce you to the learning objectives of the lesson. They are the following: respect different points of view, explain and justify own and others' point of view on a range of general and curricular topics, including some unfamiliar topics. Use speaking and listening skills to solve problems creatively and cooperatively in groups. Use a wide variety of present and past forms, including a growing range of more nuanced contrast, past and perfective aspect, simple and progressive aspect on a wide range of general and curricular topics. So as for the lesson objectives, they will be the following. All the learners will be able to work collaboratively with each other to do a project, present the game with all required explanation. Most learners will be able to express their opinions using a web quest. Use connecting words when doing a presentation. And some learners will be able to deduce the basic information and apply it for creating the game. Analyze strengths and weaknesses of classmates' presentation. So firstly, after being introduced to the objectives, learning and lesson, we are going to discuss in groups and identify the following ideas about board and computer games. As far as you remember, the topic of our lesson is about planning, designing and evaluating of the game. So you are to find out any suitable vocabulary related to the topic. What are some different types of the games? What are some features of popular games? What makes a game popular? Ask as many questions as you can. So I believe that you will cope with this task. Now you are going to watch the video. So the name of the video is Where is My Water? Game from Hasbro. So, and while watching the video, be ready for discussion.
Hi, I'm Laurie from TimeToPlayMag.com, and Where's My Water is a popular Disney app that features Swampy the alligator, and it is coming off of the screen and into family rooms for face-to-face gameplay with Hasbro's Where's My Water game. In this game, players 5 and up guide water marbles, these little blue balls, down to Swampy while avoiding obstacles along the way. Now this game is for 1 to 2 players, so if you're playing with 2 players, each one of you will choose a side of the tub. I will be the left side over here, or my left side, your right side. Basically, then you draw a card we have already drawn, and you add all the obstacle pieces to the board as shown on the card. This is just one type of card. There's a second type of card that just shows you the pieces that you need to use, but then you can put the pieces anywhere you want to on the board. Once that is all assembled, then you have to drop your water marbles down one of these 4 funnels. Now, you're also basically trying to get your blue marbles down on your side of the tub to score points, but also if you have duck pieces on the board, they get yellow marbles on them, so you get bonus points for getting yellow marbles down on your side of the tub. If you have toxic pieces on the board, those have purple marbles on top, and you lose a point if a purple marble lands on your side of the tub. So let's see how I do. How about I drop it down here? Well, I got my blue marble, not bad. Oh, it landed on my side, perfect. I landed on the other side and nobody got that yellow marble. How about I try this one? Landed on the other side, one more. Yay, I got a yellow marble. So after you count up how many points you get based on how many marbles are on your side, then the person with the highest score gets to keep the obstacle card. And the player who gets 3 cards first wins. So this game is going to be different each time you play because it's basically a build as you play game. And there is a little bit of strategy because you have to try to figure out which path or which funnel is going to get you the best path to get the most marbles on your side of the tub. There is some adult assembly required. It took us about 15 minutes just to put this basic game board together. That doesn't include the time to set up all the obstacle pieces. And some of the pieces on this main game board do not stay together very well, so just be careful as you're playing with this or if you need to move it. If you want to find out more information on this game, such as how much it costs and where to buy, then come visit timetoplaymag.com, your #1 source for all things play.
So now I believe that you have enjoyed watching the video and are ready for answering the questions that I have prepared for you. So the first question is, what is the purpose of this game? What is the target group of the game? What material was used to create this game? Will it be popular among teenagers? So after discussing these questions of the video, I will introduce you to another part of our lesson. So imagine that a large car company has asked you to produce design specifications for a game. The game can be either real or virtual. Don't hesitate to ask the questions to clarify any misconception. You can choose to make a game for one of the following contexts: either a game for children under the age of 12 or a game for teenagers. Your planning, design, and evaluation will be structured in 3 stages. So here I have prepared for you mind map, which will be helpful for you while designing a game. So you should pay attention to the target group. Then you should bear in your mind the cost of the game, which you are going to create, durability, materials that you are going to use for creating your game, appearance, how will it look like, safety, if it is quite safe for the teenagers, for young children. Then size and shape as well should be taken into your consideration, and decoration of course, so that to attract their teenagers' attention. So here I will present you the stages, how to plan your game. The first stage will contain the following steps. So you should begin your planning your game. You are going to work in groups and decide which of the 2 age focuses you would like to choose for your game, and whether your game will be real or virtual. The second stage, you should develop the design specifications for your game. As for the stage number 3, you should evaluate other groups' designs and present your group's design. Then you should begin sketching different ideas for your game. You can use a computer for this purpose or draw by hand, whichever you prefer. Then you should look through the worksheets of possible game topics. Your task is to organize the topics into 2 categories. They are the following. The first one, games or topics suitable for those younger than 12 years old. Next one, B, games or topics suitable for teenagers. And please don't forget to give sufficient justifications in your answers, so that to give some explanation why you have chosen this or that target group. As here I will suggest you the topics for game creating activity. They are play video games, solve complex math problems, learning the names of colors, singing pop music, spelling simple words, trivia about world events, killing alien monsters, solving basic math problems, a card game to learn geometric shapes, driving a sports car at high speeds, learning or to take care of a small pet, computer-based chess, naming all the countries of the world and their capitals, coloring book, basketball, tic-tac-toe, sword fighting. So please feel free to create your own names for the game activity. So now I will provide you with the organization of the group work. So students will be divided into groups for creating their own games. Write down a diagram with a specific vocabulary to use. It is quite essential for you. Record your choices on a blank sheet of paper. Then you are to make such kind of games so that to develop different skills such as logical and creative thinking, memory games, to improve concentration, active games. So in your group you are to discuss the following points. So a discussion of the different categories in the mind, map, visual, and the further structure and learning objective. Clarity to this task, you might want to consider the following. Firstly, ascribing roles to students within the group. Then, providing on individual cards key phrases relating to explaining and justifying for students to use in the course of their discussions. 4 or 5 different phrases for different students. Here I believe that you have guessed that I'm mentioning about the differentiation for less and more able students. The third one, prior to the discussion, asking each learner to think of and note down a killer question for each category. And here I have provided you with an example. For example, cost. Wouldn't that be ridiculously expensive? Learners can subsequently throw into the discussion to force other participants to clarify and justify. So you are create some questions. So firstly, you should write down any questions of your concerns you may have about the project at this stage. Then you should collect the worksheets with the questions, and if time allows, the answer the students' questions. If time is short, the questions can be saved for the beginning of the next class. So now, I would like to suggest you some interviews that should be organized by the students, so that to find out more interesting ideas about the topic of our lesson. So, you should prepare students to create questions for providing interviews with target groups to learn more information about teenagers' preferences for different types of games. So I believe that you will make up your own questions, but still I would like you to demonstrate some possible questions for the interview. What games do you prefer? Internet, board, none of them. Whom do you like to play such games with? On your own? With a partner? With 2 or 3 partners? I don't know. Then, how often do you buy board games? Once a year? Once a month? Once a week? Never. The 4th one, what favorite topic will you suggest for creating a new game? And here you are welcome so that to give your own answer without any options for you to choose. So, after providing the interview with the respondents, you are to present your interview's results. So here you will present the results of the structured interviews with the target groups. Having analyzed the questions and answers, students peer assess and give feedback directly after the presentation. And that is why you should be quite attentive, so that to listen to each other's presentation, so that to give the precise feedback. So don't forget about the distribution of the roles while working in groups. It is quite essential and significant for you. So you should divide the class into 6 pairs or small groups of 3 and hand out worksheets with the distribution of the roles in groups. So you should provide them with relevant information. Students continue working in groups following the mind map, which is given below. They use laptops to search for the material required. The link of different games pictures are provided to give the students some ideas how to decorate or design the game. The students can create the symbol or logotype of the game and invent their own rules. So then you should split the aspects of the game among the teammates while presenting during the lesson to ensure that every member of the group speaks his or her part and provides an equal contribution into the presentation. So here I will suggest you the possible roles of the students while participating in this activity. So the first one, it is called as wordsmith. Today you are the wordsmith. Your job is to follow and view your classmates' opinions, thoughts, and keep track of new and interesting words, phrases that you discover. Select 6 interesting words, phrases. Use a dictionary to record the meanings and be prepared to share your findings in discussion information circle so that they can further use them in presenting the information. Next role is called as the data digger. Today, as the data digger, you are trying to uncover information so that to help your group find the answers related to mind map question points. Record your discoveries in point form on index cards or sticky notes. Review your data and select the most relevant to share in discussion information circle. Next role is the questioner. As the questioner, you will have the opportunity to probe the information you listen and view with a critical eye. Record questions you have as you listen to classmates' opinion. Review your questions, select your best 6 and share a discussion circle. Note, vary your questions using the question starters such as who, what, when, where, why, and how. The next role is the moderator. As moderator, you have read and viewed your information text. Your task today is to keep the conversations flowing in your group. Encourage others to comment and ask questions. If your group is straying off topic, remind them of the inquiry questions. Each group is to fill out their learning logs. So you should keep in your mind that the moderator fulfills the role of a teacher and is encouraged to guide the conversation inside the groups by asking questions such as what other material will be needed in this game? Can adults take part in it or not? It's quite a responsible role. The reflector. Today you will be asked to make personal connections to the information you are listening and viewing. Consider, is this point important? Why? Do you agree or disagree? Why? What is your opinion? Record all your thoughts and share them at the discussion circle. The illustrator in the following role. After completing your observing viewing, your task today is to think of a way to record the key ideas you discovered in a visual format. You are the illustrator. Try a chart, graph, sketch, word, cartoon, diagram, or a combination of visual formats. Prepare to present your visual record to the group. So that not to forget about differentiation in your group. For low-level students, so will be quite better to recommend them to choose the role of the wordsmith and the illustrator, because it will be quite easy for them to cope with all these roles. So now let's start to design the game. And don't worry if some of the specifications you have discussed before change. This is a normal part of the design process. Ask them to decide on the format for your written specification. Will it be a Word document, a PowerPoint or a poster, or another format? Write justifications for each of the aspects of the game from stage 1 and develop a clear drawing for your game, and be prepared to explain how their game works and why it would be attractive to your target group. Everything should be discussed with your teammates. Look through the worksheets and analyze your project according to the criteria. Remind the criteria. In the presentation or speech, you should mention about the target, cost, durability, materials, and safety of your group's game. Do you remember I have shown you the mind map at the beginning of my presentation? Evaluate the game by making notes according to these criteria in the table. Name of the game, group. Do you find the game easy to understand? Why? Why not? Will the game be attractive to its target audience? You should explain your answer. So, after creating the game, all the rules and requirements that should be taken into consideration by you, so you are to present a project, while other groups will assess their presentation using special paper of peer assessment. So here is their formative assessment, or peer assessing each other. So the objective is navigate, talk and modify language through paraphrase and correction in talk on a range of general and curricular topics, including unfamiliar topics. So the main criteria is speaking. So the task is the following. Speak and comment on the speech you have just heard. So here I have prepared for you some descriptors so that to stimulate your students to achieve their learning objectives set up at the beginning of the lesson. So the student can achieve their learning objective if he or she speaks clearly using correct pronunciation and intonation. Note the techniques of the public speech. Evaluate and comment on the strongest and weakest points. Express his or her own opinion using such phrases as, in my opinion, to my mind, from my point of view, it seems to me. Use linking words and expressions while speaking, such as firstly, secondly, also, in addition, however, therefore, on the other hand, on the one hand, although, and so on. So I believe that you will manage to cope with all the tasks and to cover the learning objectives, bearing in your mind all these descriptors. Other justifications for the 8 aspects of the game clear. Give examples. Do you like or dislike any features of the game or the design? Explain why. Note down 2 questions and or more which you would like to ask the designers. So it is for the students who are going to peer assess, so that to clarify more details about the classmates' presentations. So here the table for peer assessment, the worksheet. So here you should write in the first column, you should write the group, number of the group, first, second, third. Then in the second column, what are the group strengths? It means that you should highlight here the strong sides of the group's presentation, what you like best. Then the third column will be related to the areas for improvement. There are some weak sides which teammates or group mates have made while presenting their research findings. And here in the last column you should write some comments for your peer assessor. Then now it's time for our reflection. So Review one thing you have learned from designing your game and evaluating your classmates' game. Evaluate strengths and weaknesses of the produced research work and give suggestions to improve some approaches. So it means that you should figure out some ideas, some points to develop so that to help your classmates to be better for the next time. Students are assigned to do tasks on speaking assessment sheets. So 3 minutes to every group to present their game. Give necessary vocabulary for the presentation to low-level students so that to help them to cope or to cover all their learning objectives. Now we are going to summarize the group presentation. Look again briefly at your worksheets if you need and summarize briefly just the first question. That is, how each device works. The group member who presented on that device can help the group but should not dominate. Don't forget about it. Everybody should contribute equally into the group's presentation. When groups are ready, reassign them to their original presentation groups and ask them to summarize how the 3 devices which they didn't present work. So give learners thinking time to summarize any points of interest from your discussion, evaluate how well you communicated understanding of content, evaluate what they have learned from planning and presenting together, assess what aspects of teamwork, understanding of content, and use of language you need to improve. So here I will demonstrate you the criteria for peer assessment. So firstly, you should write down the name of the group, then answer such questions. Do you find the game easy to understand? Why? Why not? Would the game be attractive to its target audience? Explain your answer. That is why here you should write down your justifications. Are the justifications for the 8 aspects of the game clear? Give examples. Do you like or dislike any features of the game or the design? Explain why. Everything should be supported by your explanation, by the examples. Note down all examples of good, not so good, missed opportunities of explaining, justifying language. Point out where they could have been improved. Ask students whether they have any questions or trouble understanding the new vocabulary. So, it is a worksheet for self-evaluating your contribution into the work, into the lesson. So, firstly, you should pay attention to the points of interest from working in the groups. And here you should evaluate yourself according to the scale of 5 points. How well did you work together with your classmates? Next one, how well you communicated understanding of content. What aspects of teamwork, understanding of content, and use of language you need to improve? And at the end of the lesson, I would like to illustrate you an example of a game which is called as Shadow, which was produced by some students. Shadow games. In game we have to guess in a shadow form what it is. At the beginning you are given 30 coins and 1 clue. You can buy additional clue for 5 coins. For every one guessed the picture is given you 10 coins. The goal of the game is to develop imagination and critical thinking. So don't forget about the target, the objective of the game. Here are the pictures, images. It is intended for people of different ages and the cost is $15. So here I would like to refer your attention to the learning objectives which I have demonstrated at the beginning of the lesson. So pay attention to the following objectives if you have managed to cover them. Respect different points of view. Explain and justify own and others' point of view on a range of general and curricular topics, including some unfamiliar topics. Use speaking and listening skills to solve problems creatively and cooperatively in groups. Use a wide range of present and past forms, including a growing range of more nuanced contrast, past and perfective aspect, simple and progressive aspect, on a wide range of general and curricular topics. I hope that all the students have managed to cover all the suggested learning objectives for the lesson. And here I suggest you bibliography that I have used for my lesson. So you may find the material of the lesson here in this site, Moodle NIS EDU Gazette. Thank you for your attention.